Howdy. Maybe you have noticed, but they took down my Viktor Schauberger video. For whatever reason. Copyright claim or something, they explained. Olaf Alexanderson, Living Water, Viktor Schauberger and the Secrets of Natural Energy. That's a free PDF available for everyone. I haven't read it yet, but there are many, many interesting things. Publisher's note. The first English language publication of this title in 1982 attracted much curiosity, but there were not at that time many projects in vortex research. Awareness of the world ecological crisis has stimulated much creative thought, so we considered it relevant to add some new material. The appendices therefore contribute information on new research projects and on the links of vortex theory to fundamental physics. I try to read this as soon as possible, because there are many interesting things in that. I will put a link below. You can read it for yourself and make your own thoughts about it, compare with the knowledge you gathered from elsewhere. Make your own conclusions about this. I just think it's something maybe worth checking out. So let's go over to something familiar, like earthquakes. 5 hours ago in Kuusamo. Ku means moon. Yeah, this looks really interesting. Kalevala. Yeah, I've been writing some things about the Kalevala. And obviously, or it seems like that there has been some discharge and from this side too, and this seems to be in the middle. Swampland, craters all over the place. And we have really, really cool patterns here, which I think form through electricity. Since peat is acidic, it conducts really weakly in electricity, but it will form daisy chains since the peat material is lying in the water and the crystals are much easier to move in water since there's this certain kind of buoyancy and stuff. But this is just my thing, my theory. And I even think that it could be that the last ice age, it ended abruptly. And I was thinking that since peat is like all over the place, it's in every country, well, not every country, but every continent. You can find it in Switzerland, Asia, wherever you go. There are places where you find peat. And since it's like the top layer, I was thinking that is it possible that at the end of the last ice age, it just happened so that there got so much energy fused into Earth's electric circuit that peat just warmed up and therefore started to melt stuff from below in a probably really quick manner. Peat's melting point is somewhat 170 degrees, which is fairly enough to melt ice and snow. And since it's heavier than water, it just stayed where it is. Of course, if it dries out, wind can carry it wherever it goes. So I guess at the bottom of the seas, there's like a whole lot of peat. It might be just mixed up with many other things. But if peat land dries out, if there's a peat fire or whatever, and it starts to wind, and or they're digging it out, drying it first, and then digging it out the peat, there's so much dust in the air because it's really fine. So strong wind can carry peat wherever it goes. But these are just my thoughts about peat. It might have played a really, really important role at the end of the last ice age. And there's still, since yesterday, I think yesterday it was still unconfirmed. Now it seems to be confirmed. Depth under the epicenter, 20 kilometers. Wrong button. Reports. Sometimes they're interesting. Sometimes you don't get really something out of it. A big bang. I hear the quake. Two bumps. I was afraid that our big front window would break. All windows were shaking and making sounds. Two loud bangs and a pressure wave. Two loud bangs and shaking. Sounded like an explosion. Like an explosion. Habe nur einen lauten Knall und eine einmalige Erschütterung gespürt, vergleichbar mit einem Überschallknall von einem Kampfflugzeug. Okay, someone thought that there was just two big bangs and it sounded like an airplane. And here someone wrote two FA-8 fighter jets. And there was some news yesterday that there has been people gotten afraid because they heard two loud bangs or bangs. And probably we are just watching reports of airplane breaking through the sound barrier, creating a bang, which is really interesting. Yesterday there was an unconfirmed quake. Now it's obviously confirmed since it has a depth of 20 kilometers. But at the same time, there's like news about those bangs from the airplanes. Many people called somewhere, asked what's going on. So, if this is really a quake with a depth of 20 kilometers, actually we could go to more info. Agree. Unconfirmed earthquake or seismic-like event. Updated 3 hours ago. Magnitude unknown or 3.6, status unconfirmed. Depth 20 kilometers. How do they know that? Everything else is uncertain or unsure, but this they know. Yeah, that's an interesting thing to follow if there's anything more about that. So we don't know much more. It just doesn't really make sense if it's 20 kilometers in depth, but could be also be airplanes. Interesting. But let's stay in the Alps because they are very interesting. Kraftplatz, Enzianbrenner. Kraftplatz, power place or energy place. So it might be a holy place or of some sort. Where witches are dancing or something. 21 hours ago, 0.75 kilometers in depth. But check it out. If you watch a little bit, if you watch closer, you probably can see this feature here. Which has these kind of features. So it looks in a way, I would say, like a glacier. It has glacier-like features, even though it's rock. No. This could be an eruptive site. And here's this most fresh material, which probably poured out of the mountain here. Haha, yes, what am I talking about? We are in the Alps. There's nothing erupting there. I know. I have been there many times. I got taught in school about the Alps. Brennerbad. Really? Bad? Which means bath. So we might go over to Google Earth. Now we put in here Brennerbad. Brennerbad. Boom. Bolzano, Italy, where we have wide rivers and stuff. Yeah, that's a famous highway. Only two pictures. Okay. Terme di Brennero. Terme di Brennero. Now we go really far away. Yeah, this doesn't help. But here's geothermal activity going on. So we might go back to where we have been, wherever it was. So let's search again for Brennerbad. Cappella di Maria. So we might. It's not that steep. But here is this really, really, really important highway. So if this gets blocked by whatever event, we might hear it in the news. So we're actually Kraftplatz Enzianbrenner. Here we are. Now we can click on that. Is there anything interesting? Wildlife refuge in Italy. A cross, so it might be an important place since ancient times, or not that ancient. Enzian. So it's a holy place. It has a cross. And there might be a cross there, exactly there, for a reason. Usually they have reasons why they are there. So this is the place of interest. Let's turn on the pictures. Maybe we get a picture from that place. Schlüsseljoch, Kalkmannstange, Roll- und Dachsspitze. Yeah, tetrahedrons and stuff. Really interesting. Nice picture. But we don't have a picture from the exact location. No. Yeah. There will come a time when you watch pictures of food and think that, yeah, I remember. So I think this is geologically really an interesting place. There is a house, so I suppose that there is also water, because no one builds a house in the middle of nowhere if there's no water. Very interesting. Yeah, what's that? Is this a well or something? I wouldn't be surprised at all. What's that? Man-made or not? It's somehow really straight. But I don't know. I think I leave it here. This might be some water body. For the cows, for example. Haha, check this out. If one would tell you this is in Indonesia, you would say, yeah, okay, that's a volcano. This is what volcanoes do. They make a connection. Excite the water molecules and you have clouds. I leave it up to you to decide how this looks, what it is comparable to. We are in the Alps, not Swiss Alps, from Italian Alps, I guess. We have wide rivers. We have earthquakes. We have landscapes which seem to have features of eruptions. I would say this really looks like something like this. Something was pouring out of the mountain not too long ago. And then, where was it? We have this one. That's a really cool picture. Oh, I have been searching for these kind of pictures. But they're not easy to find. Now the picture found me. Thank you, picture. Thank you, Google. Thank you. Yeah, I think I'll leave it here. Thanks.